seems like some of you people haven't learned from my first verbal assault video, so I'm gonna have to address the issue again. Well, actually not with you guys, but with a certain someone from a certain site, which I have read not too long ago, probably about a month ago maybe, but probably after the E3 demo, I guess. Look, I know I'm a little day late and $1 short because everybody's been doing this, but this has to be said, and I've held this insight for a long time, and I really want to say it, but Alex from Nintendo Life, you are a fucking dick. Asshole, you are an idiot. That's all I have to say. Well, I have more to say, but why am I calling him this? Let's just say in his recent, or his Sonic Forces review, or at least a little mini review of a fucking demo, excuse my language, he kind of contradicted himself, okay? He contradicted himself in a way that even I'm very confused on what he's trying to say. It really boggles the mind. I mean, I know it's his opinion, and yeah, everyone's entitled to them, but this has got to be one of the most ridiculous and most very confusing and contradicting opinion I have ever read. I didn't watch the video on it, but I read it. Well, I didn't really read it at first because I already saw by the tagline that it wasn't going to be good. So I still went in and gave it a try. I was pretty upset. I had a lot of comments. I was trying to get people to stop following this guy because he's a dumbass, he's an asshole, and he doesn't even know what the fuck he is talking about. I do have some of his essay on this review, and I'm going to read it just from the 4th paragraph on. So this is what he had to say. Modern Sonic's affair is precisely what you'd expect. A cookie-cutter modern Sonic-style course more keen to the mock speed sections in the 2006 reboot we dare not mention by name. Although thankfully hitting the wall doesn't result in a ridiculous and instant death. Run as fast as you can collecting rings if you want. Jump every so often, and then after a moment stop dead still and kill a group of characterless robot minions. This kind of gameplay, although perhaps not entirely to everyone's taste, can work, and we've seen it do well in games like Sonic Colors. But the entire level felt overly short and had nothing in terms of secrets or hidden paths we could find. Likely because the game kept encouraging us to speed through the level without taking the time to observe anything of detail. The Avatar stage, on the other hand, is worse. Speed is put on the back burner, which is a good idea in theory, but there is no speed at all beyond a handful of CPU-controlled maneuvers that have plagued Sonic games for over a decade now. Instead, you have to use your weapon. The demo we played offered a choice of a flamethrower or an electric whip to swat away at foes like wet tissue paper, and each activation of said weapon slows you down, meaning the core mechanic of the avatars has nothing to do with speed. It feels worryingly similar to Shadow the Hedgehog on the GameCube, which isn't something to be too thrilled about in this writer's opinion.
You serious?
Okay, riddle me this, Alex. In what way does Sonic Colors make 3D work, whereas with Forces it doesn't? When they're both the exact same type of gameplay. They're both based on Sonic Unleashed. Are you freaking kidding me? That's the moment where you contradicted yourself. Because again, Sonic Colors had way shorter levels than what I've seen in freaking Forces. Okay? Why do you think the game had 6 fucking acts? Because the damn games are so fucking short. The damn levels are so fucking short. For all we know, Forces could have the same number of acts in a world. Well, that's why they're probably so dang short. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay, and as for the Avatar, I've seen it go about the exact same speed as freaking Sonic. Yes, it is true that you do slow down at points when you're taking out enemies. It's just like freaking Sonic Heroes. I mean, I know the game was decent, but what does Shadow the Hedgehog even have to do with what I've seen from the gameplay? Yes, it's akin to something like... No, it seems akin to more like Sonic Adventure 2, because there were moments where you had to slow down, too, because you had to stop a bunch of freaking enemies. If you ever played the level Crazy Gadget, you had to do that when you had to beat a freaking artificial chaos that spawned out so many cloned chaos, or so many cloned robots. That was a moment where you had to stop and do a lot of things. There was a bunch of switches. They had a puzzle. It was a stop. It had a lot of stopping moments. The game had a lot of stopping moments. So did Sonic Adventure. It had more exploration-based levels. You had to find Okay. There are points where you had to find switches. Sometimes you did have to slow down in games like Sonic Adventure 2. Even games like Sonic Colors, you had to do that too, in order for you to progress through levels. So what makes this game so special? I don't get that. You've basically contradicted yourself in that part. And in the Avatar stage. They work just like how Sonic Adventure games worked when it came to playing as different characters, or when you were just playing through Sonic's levels, and you had to stop at moments where you need to solve a puzzle, or at least defeat as many enemies as you can in order to get to the next part of the level. Two prime examples of that was Crazy Gadget and Pyramid Cave. You know why? Because in Pyramid Cave, you couldn't go straight through because there was a door in the middle of the section that you needed to find the key for. You had to go left and go through as many robots as you could, and once you reach the end of the dead end, you see the key right there. You have to, of course, stop some robots before they kill you, and then you have to get to that key all the way up to that door, and then bam, you're through the level. That was a stopping moment there, okay? And you're saying that Forces is doing that same kind of thing and comparing it to Shadow the Hedgehog. Other games like that have done it way before Shadow the Hedgehog, you fucking dumbass. Alright. So yeah, let's move on to his next paragraphs, which I'm going to read to you out loud again. Here's also what he had to add. Plenty are excited for Forces, thinking that perhaps Sonic Team has learned from approving Sonic Mania and just generally being a group of humans who enjoy video games. That substance is far more important than style. Unfortunately, the Sonic Forces demo falls down flat in almost every regard. On the Switch, it runs in arithmetic, whatever that word is. I'm trying to, it's hard to pronounce, but arithmetic slug throughout a salt mine by Sonic standards, of course. Dumbass. And the gameplay is bland and utterly predictable. That's your opinion. Developers have proven that Sonic in 3D can work with the likes of Sonic Colors, Generations, and even the Sonic Adventure series, providing, of course, you ignore all of the levels that aren't Sonic or Shadow oriented. It may be unfair to judge Sonic Forces harshly considering that the game isn't finished yet, but if it's truly representative of the final game, then we have serious reservations. Classic Sonic feels just about fine, although we didn't get to play anything outside of the said boss battle. Modern Sonic feels dry and boring, forcing you to take no time to appreciate anything. That's not true. Finally, the Avatar stage feels like an afterthought, as though someone at Sonic Team suddenly had the great idea of letting people insert their own characters into the game, and not an inherently bad idea in theory, despite all the jokes. Late on development, and some poor sod had to create an entirely new gameplay system to incorporate them. Nothing feels like it has any focus or passion behind it. It's more as if the game is being pushed out to make money in a hurry, and as soon as something is passable for a game is there, Sega is ready to just throw it out. The consequences be damned. It's worrying unless the final release manages to pull something out of their hat. We're just looking at another modern Sonic game and not in a good way. Alright, all bets are off, because here's where you made a big doo-doo. You made a big doo-doo here. Okay, first off, in what way do you think that Forces is not as good as Sonic Generations, Sonic Colors, and the Sonic Adventure series when it had the exact same things that you explained in the goddamn Avatar paragraph? First of all, well, you basically contradicted yourself there, buddy. And what you said about it being unfair to be judged, again, people, you don't learn from this, and this asshole certainly hasn't learned from this. Even though he says it, he's just being a little confusing there. He's just being a dick, saying he knows that it's unfair. If you know it's unfair to judge, then why are you doing it? Yeah, dude, this is just a demo. It's a work in progress. You have to wait. They had 4 fucking years to develop this goddamn game. They even said so themselves that they've been working on this since after Sonic Lost World. So they got started immediately with this. It took them about from 2013 to 2017. That's about a 4-year difference. That's all they needed to learn from it. And then you're saying about the Avatar being a last-minute kind of thing. I don't believe that. I honestly do not believe that. They had all this time to do a lot of artwork. They had a lot of time to program the game. I'm pretty sure that's what they had in planned. It was a surprise. If you couldn't tell by the goddamn Join the Resistance tagline that that was something that they've hidden, especially since last year, they said they were going to have a third gameplay component. They announced it because they already worked on it a while back ago later. They just announced it before E3 because they know that people couldn't wait for the surprise of what this character could represent. And now that we've got an idea of what it is, it seems interesting to me. But just saying that it's a last-minute effort is just dumb. Okay? That's freaking stupid because, okay, it's not like Sonic Unleashed. Okay? Sonic Unleashed was rushed. I'm pretty sure even games before that were rushed. But Forces had 4 years of development. So why are you saying that this is a last-minute effort if they've already had it as a surprise? I know that because of the Join the Resistance tagline. I'm pretty sure they worked on it for so many years. Okay. Dude, you are the most biased, narrow-minded dumbass I have ever seen in my life. You are worse than Jim Sterling, buddy. That's it. I'm done. Thank you all again for tuning into this little rant, but it had to be said because I needed to let that all out. So anyway, this is Gamer Review saying I will see you all next game.
You serious?